What's up, y'all? Brandon with BC Talks here. So a couple weeks ago, I posted a YouTube short where I was going through a long box of X-Men comics, and I just missed out on the first appearance of Cable. It was like a couple books away, so I was super bummed that I missed out on that. But there was a lot of other dope books in this box, and they were all $1 a piece. So I picked up about half a short box worth of books. Then there's actually a funny story that goes along with that we're going to go over in today's video. Before we get started, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more comic book and pop culture talk. And if you're into collecting comics, make sure you give me a follow on Whatnot. I was recently made a verified seller on the platform. And if you use my link down in the description, you'll save $10 off your first purchase. Now, I know I've been saying this for the past few months, but listen, y'all, I've had a really busy couple of months. I haven't had a chance to really sort through my inventory and get everything set up. But eventually I am going to start selling on Whatnot. So make sure you follow me on Whatnot and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell because I will let you know when the first show starts here soon. Speaking of, y'all know I'm a procrastinator. As you can see, I finally got up some character posters that I've had for a while that I wanted to put up on the wall. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that when I first moved here, I had a little temporary setup before I got my main setup together, and I would put different posters up depending on the topic that I was talking about. If you go back a few months, you'll see those videos. So I've had these posters for a while. I just didn't put them up until now. But anyway, off of my procrastination, so as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there's an interesting story that goes along with this haul. So a couple weeks ago, I was out doing errands, and I had a couple hours to kill before I had to go to work. So I was like, let me slide over to the antique mall to see if they have any Funko Pops for the back wall. And now this is a different antique mall than the one I have been going to for the past few hauls. The one with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle in the thumbnail, if you've seen those hauls. This is a different antique mall. This one mainly has a lot of toys. They actually claim to have the largest collection of antique toys in the state of Virginia, which I believe them personally because they have so many different toys, Funko Pops, Star Wars Kenner toys, old Transformers, Star Trek. They have WWE toys, Barbies, all sorts of stuff. Pretty much any brand you could think of. So I went to check and see if they have any Funko Pops, and they didn't have any that I wanted. And upstairs, they actually have a huge section of probably about 100 or so long boxes filled with comics. And now I usually don't get comics from there because even though they're $1 a book, they are very unorganized. It's hard to go through them. You really have to commit if you're going to go through the comics at this place because half of them are unorganized, and the ones that are organized, it'll say this box is all comics that start with the letter A, and then you go through the box and you'll get like Warlock and the Infinity Watch or something like that. You're like, how did these get in there? Um, so it's kind of like a daunting task to go through those books. So I had a couple hours to kill, so I was like, let me just go through a couple long boxes, just skim through them, see if there's anything that catches my eye, any keys or whatnot that catch my eye, because I've always thought there's probably some gems in these long boxes. There's just so many books that you have to go through. So I was going through a long box at the top. They have like 3 rows of long boxes, and I was going through a long box at the top, and there was a couple on the floor in the corner by a pole going through 2 long boxes on the bottom row. And I noticed at the corner of my eye that they were going through apps on their phone. Might have been CLZ, I couldn't tell exactly, but it didn't look like Key Collector. But they I didn't want to bother them because I don't like to be bothered when I'm digging through boxes. I'll talk to people if they say something to me, but when I'm in it looking for stuff, like they were, I don't like to people to be bothering me. So I didn't want to bother them. But I did see up the corner of my eye that they were looking through an X-Men box, and they kept pulling up Uncanny X-Men books. Now, if you've been watching the channel, I'm collecting the Chris Claremont run of Uncanny X-Men, so it was catching my eye every time they pulled up an X-Men book and put it back. I was trying to see if maybe there's a key there or a book that I don't have in my collection yet. And they were there for about 10 more minutes when I got there, and then they left. They had like a little stack of probably 10, 20 books. And as soon as they left, I hopped down there and I was like, I have to see what's in this box, what they put back. Because even if it's just Uncanny X-Men, even for resale, Uncanny X-Men for $1 is a great price. You can't find that very many places. So I hopped down there and I was digging through the box, and that was the box I saw in the YouTube short. And I did find a lot of awesome books, and that is, I picked up 70 books, so 70 bucks, $1 a book, and that's what we're gonna go through in today's haul. So I picked up a few random books, a bunch of Uncanny X-Men for my Claremont run and also to resell. And then I picked up a bunch of West Coast Avengers for my West Coast Avengers run as well. So the first books here, this one is an interesting one. This is Firestorm, the Nuclear Man, number 35. This is the first appearance of Weasel. It's also a newsstand you can see on the bottom. Now, if you watch the movies, you know that Weasel appeared in James Gunn's remake of the Suicide Squad, the most recent Suicide Squad that came out, which was really good. He didn't appear for very long, and obviously he was played by Sean Gunn. The character was CGI, but Sean Gunn did the voice and the mocap. And Sean Gunn is actually returning to voice Weasel in the Creature Commandos animated show, which is going to be on our HBO Max, or Max now, I guess. And that's actually going to be the first project in the DCU. Is the animated Creature Commando show. So a little interesting spec there. I know Weasel's already appeared, but it's an interesting book. I did not know that Weasel appeared first in a Firestorm book, because I know that I think Weird War Tales was the first. I don't remember which number, but I think that was where the Creature Commandos appeared first. But I don't think Weasel was on that team. He didn't appear until this, I believe. So an interesting little book there. Um, if you're into the movies, I'm looking forward to the new DCU, and we've heard a lot of stuff coming out now since the writer's strike is over and the actor's strike will be over soon. This next one is Thor number 412. This is the first appearance of the new Warriors, which is Firestar, Kid Nova, Marvel Boy, Namorita, Night Thrasher, which is also his first appearance as well, and Speedball. So the new Warriors, I'm not as familiar with them, but they're an interesting team. And Kid Nova, I think Kid out of all of them, Kid Nova is probably the most likely to appear in Marvel. um but eventually in the movies, but eventually, you never know, we might see them in the Marvel movies. I think that would be interesting. This next one's interesting as well. This is What the Number 10. This is the Christmas special, and it is the first appearance of Bart Simpson in a comic book. Now, if you've been following the channel, you know that a few months ago I picked up the first appearance of the Simpsons in a comic book, which was Simpsons Comics and Stories number 1. It was still in the poly bag. Um, this is the What the Christmas special is the first appearance of Bart Simpson in a comic. So an interesting little one to pair with that one, and it's a Christmas book as well. I like to collect those Christmas covers with Santa on the cover. So there's a lot of them that are really funny. Because once Santa is appearing in comics, it's usually for funny purposes. So that's an interesting one. This next one is X Factor number 1. Now you might think, why did you pick that up? Everybody has X Factor. For some reason, I didn't have X Factor number 1. I guess I never picked it up ever. And this is a newsstand, obviously. This is the first appearance of the original X-Men, which was Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Iceman, and Angel. It's also the first appearance of Cameron Hodge, who's a human who has passionately hated mutants. And then the first appearance of Rusty Collins, who is a mutant with the ability to manipulate fire. But obviously, it's notable for the first appearance of X Factor, which is the original X-Men team. And a lot of people, they're into Uncanny X-Men. I am, obviously. I got a bunch of them coming up. But I do also collect X Factor and X Force, and X-Men Adventures, the X-Men, the regular X-Men series. So I like to collect X-Men books. That's mostly what I collect in Marvel: X-Men, and then a few Avengers books as well, like West Coast Avengers. Um, I like to collect those kind of like eclectic teams. And this next one is Fantastic Four 265. This is the when She-Hulk joins the Fantastic Four. It's also when the Thing quits the Fantastic Four, and then the Skrull Lila replaces Alicia Masters, who is in a relationship with the Thing. So it's also a really interesting cover. I like that cover. Um, and so it's just an interesting Fantastic Four book to pick up, um, with She Hulk in it. And then this next one is Thor 424, which is the first appearance of the Blue Celestial, the first Celestial with a documented birth, which, as you know, the Celestials appeared in the Eternals in the MCU, which that movie wasn't very well received. Although I've seen over time, people have been appreciating a little bit more, so maybe in a few years like people do with the Star Wars prequels. People will kind of come around on the Eternals, and we might see if they recognize the Celestials at all, like the one Tiamat that's in the ocean right now in the MCU that they don't talk about at all, that would have displaced oceans and caused the greatest, geological catastrophe in human history. Something that large coming up out the ocean and displacing all that water would have destroyed land masses with all the tsunamis. But they don't ever talk about that in the MCU. I don't know why. There was a little thing they mentioned it in a little part of She-Hulk on her laptop in an article in the corner. Somebody made a joke about it. So that was all they talk about it. So I'd like to see them talk about that. Maybe they will in the Captain America movie, but right now they don't seem to be acknowledging that this giant celestial is in the ocean and would have displaced so much water, it would have probably would have destroyed the world doing that. All right. Now that rant aside, we're gonna go into the Uncanny X-Men that I picked up. Now a lot of these I do already own, so I'm gonna be swapping them out and then reselling the one that I don't want in my collection. But a few of these are pretty interesting. Like these first two. This is Uncanny X-Men Annual number 10. This is the first appearance of the X Babies, which was the regular X Men. You can see them at the top, transformed into babies by Mojo, which they later had their first official appearance in Uncanny X Men number 12. And this is also when Longshot joins the X Men. Now, there's an interesting story with this one in number 12, which I have right here. This is Uncanny X Men number 12, which is the first official team appearance of the X Babies. Now, there's an interesting story with these two here. So Uncanny X-Men Annual number 10, which is the first one here. This one was the X-Men get transported into the Mojo verse. Mojo, he's a villain that fights the X-Men, and he transforms them into babies, and so they call themselves the X-Babies. Um, and they kind of do this little adventure, and then they get out and turn into back to their normal selves. And then later on, in Uncanny X-Men Annual number 12, Mojo recreates the X-Men, but as babies. And so they're called the X-Babies. So in number 10 is the regular X-Men team transformed into babies. And then 12 is the is clones of the X-Men created by Mojo that are babies originally. So it's kind of confusing if you see this if you see this on like Key Collector or something. But that's the little brief kind of story of them. So it's kind of confusing if you see first appearance of X Babies and then first official team appearance. That's what it means. If you see that when you're looking through books. But anyway, this is Uncanny X Men 254. This is one I already own, so I will be swapping that one out and selling it. This is Uncanny X Men 260. Again, I already own this one. But that's an interesting cover there. And this is Uncanny X Men 263, which again I already own a copy, so I will swap that one out and resell that. This next one is Uncanny X Men 264, which is a cool cover of Beast there, but I already own that one as well, so I will be swapping that one out and selling it. This next one is 265, which I already own, and now you might be saying, whoa, 263 is 264, 265. I was thinking the same thing, but just like with the first appearance of Cable, they did not have 266. Which, if you know, 266 is the second appearance of, and the first cover appearance of Gambit. It's also his first chronological appearance in continuity. So it's a pretty big Gambit key. And, it's his first appearance on the cover, second appearance total. But they didn't have it. I was one away from that one as well. Should have made a short about that one, but I didn't think about it. But so I missed out on two big keys in that box. I'm always wondering if that couple grabbed it when they were going through the box. We'll never know. But this one is next one is 271. It's not a key, and I don't own this one, so this will go in the Claremont collection. It's also a newsstand and a good looking copy as well. Um, next one is 274. I love this cover here. And I already own this one, but it's a great cover. This is basically, if you wanted to sum up what comics were in the 90s, if this was foil, this would be the like a classic '90s cover. Like, look at this. He's got Cable with the gun there, and then Magneto that's out there, and all them. And if it was foil, it'd be a perfect '90s cover. But this next one is number 276, which I already own a copy, so I will swap and sell that one. This next one is 278, which I already own a copy of this one as well. But it's a nice little newsstand, so I'll swap that one out. This next one is actually, or no, the next one. This is 279, which is another newsstand, another good looking copy. I'll swap that one out. And this next one is a key. It is 281. So it's the first appearance of Trevor Fitzroy. I do already own a copy of this one, so, but that one is a key. This next one is 284, which this is a good looking copy. It's the first, or the second appearance of Bishop. It's a really good looking copy as well, and it's a newsstand. I do already own this one. This is not, Chris Claremont did not write these ones. Chris Claremont stopped writing at 280. So these ones Chris Claremont didn't write, but I do have copies of these ones, but I'll swap them out and sell them. This one is 286, which is not a key. And I don't own this one, but it's not a Claremont one, so I'll sell that one. I'm only collecting the Claremont ones, and then the big keys outside of the Claremont, like the Bishop keys and whatnot. Um, this one's 288, which is not a key, but I will sell that one as well. This one is 291. It's not a key, also not a Claremont one, so that one's going to be sold. This next one, but again, these are really nice, crispy newsstand copies. So this is 293. So if you're looking for some good non-Claremont X-Men, I know a lot of people still, even though it's not Claremont, they collect Uncanny X-Men. So the sub 300 ones, and even 300 around 300, 301, 303 are keys. So a lot of people just collect the keys. These are really crispy looking copies. So stay tuned. You might be able to get a good deal on these when I finally, you know, sort everything and get them on whatnot. This is 295, which is part 5 of Executioner Song. It was also polybagged with a trading card, but obviously these were not bagged. This one wasn't in the poly bag, so no trading card there. This next one is 296, which is not a key. That one's going to be for resale. This one is 299, which is the first appearance of Graydon Creed, who is the son of Sabretooth and an anti-mutant activist. And I do already have this one, so I'll swap and sell it. This next one is the first appearance of Selena Blaze, Sienna Blaze, who was previously featured in a bio in Strike file number 5. And this is a 301. And that one is going to be for resale as well. And then the last Uncanny X-Men, this is 303, which is the death of Magic. And obviously that's not Claremont, so I will be reselling that one as well. And the bulk of the haul is going to be the West Coast Avengers. I have about 40 of them here. And the West Coast Avengers run, I think it goes to like 120 or 140. I can't remember exactly, but it's over 100. And so this is like a third or a fourth of the run here. And a lot of this is not keys. There's not a ton of keys in the West Coast Avengers run, and I have a lot of the keys already. So I was just picking up run filler, and like run filler for $1. I'm picking that up because I want to complete the run, obviously. So we'll go through those quickly since there's not a lot of these are keys. This first one is West Coast Avengers number 2. And I've talked about this before. A lot of people don't like the floating heads covers. I like the floating heads covers. I think this one is an interesting one. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. How do y'all feel about floating heads covers? I like them. A lot of them. A lot of them. Some of them are dumb. It depends on what it looks like. This next one is number 5, which this one actually, now that I'm looking at it, reminds me of the Moon Knight cover. I don't remember the issue number. But it reminds me of that Moon Knight cover with the black, the black cover with the eyes and then the mouth and the blood dripping down. It reminds me of that one. I wonder if this is supposed to be an homage. I wonder which one came first. I'm gonna have to look that up after this. Now that I'm looking at it, I didn't even see. But this next one is number 6, which again is not a key. This next one is number 8, which is also not a key. This one is a key actually. This is number 10. This is the first appearance of Headlock. So a little minor key. A lot of the keys in the West Coast Avengers run are minor. I think the first War Machine is in this run, if I'm not mistaken. But this is I don't have it in here. It's in the run. I mean, it's this is number 12, which is not a key. This is number 13, which is not a key at a newsstand. A lot of these are newsstands. And again, like I said about the X-Men books, a lot of these are in pretty good condition. This is number 15. Not a key there. Number 17, which is a key. It's the first appearance of Sunstroke. So this one is a key. Then we have number 18, which is not a key. Then we have number 20, which is not a key. And then we have number 21, which is a key, but it's only a key. The key is that despite the cover text, Moon Knight and Dr. Pym do not join the West Coast Avengers until issue number 23. So see there it says on the cover, Dr. Pym and Moon Knight, which is actually a pretty cool cover. Which Dr. Pym is the original Ant-Man, of course. So it's a cool cover there with Moon Knight. I love these black covers. Um, the past couple black covers. But yeah, that's the key for that one. Number 22. This is an interesting cover with Doctor Strange. I think that's Doctor Strange. Yeah, Doctor Strange. But it's not a key. Just a cool little cover there. A lot of cool covers in this run. Especially the War Machine cover. I really love that cover. This one is 24, which is not a key. This one is 25, which is not a key. But a pretty dynamic cover there with some action on it. This one is 27, which is not a key, but a nice, funny little double cover there with you can't tell who's who. um, this one is 28, which is not a key, but that one's got a lot going on there. Let me see this. Gotta fix the box there. This one is 29, which is also not a key. So all these are, really run filler. This one's number 30. This one is, I think it's supposed to be Taskmaster. It says the Composite Avenger. And so I wonder if that's supposed to be Taskmaster. I don't think it is, actually. I think it might just be, a guy with all their powers. It's not a key, so I don't know. I haven't read that one. This one is 33, which is not a key. This one is 37, which is not a key. This next one is 39. This is a cool cover here, not a key, but a cool cover there. This next one is 41. Another Floating Heads cover, but I like this cover. With Mockingbird, is that there? Yeah, I think that's Mockingbird. And then this one is a key, but it's a key because it's Vision Quest. So the Vision Quest story arc begins. Nice little newsstand there. Got Scarlet Witch on the cover. In the back there. This next one is 48, which is not a key. Then we have 49, which has a floating head in the middle. A really interesting cover there. That one's not a key. A lot of floating head covers in this run. This one is 50, which is not a key. Now the next one is a key. There's a next couple that are keys. This one 51 is the origin of Master Pandemonium. How he exchanged his soul to Mephisto to be made whole after a car accident. So a lot, Mephisto's always getting in action. Again, there's another. I didn't notice the floating in the crack there is all the floating heads. A lot of floating heads covers in this Avengers run. Avengers West Coast run. 54 is an identity reveal. The iconic monster from the cover of Fantastic Four #1 is revealed to be named Giganto. So a little identity reveal there. And it's a newsstand. So a little throwback to Fantastic Four #1. This one is not a key, but again, guess what? Another floating heads cover. I like this one. I don't know. I like floating heads covers. A lot of people say they don't like floating heads covers. For the most part, a lot of floating heads covers are cool to me. Now this one is not a key, but is a great cover here. Look at this cover with Magneto there. Great cover. Always love a Magneto cover. Um, That's number 60, not a key there. Now 61, or sorry, 62 is a key. It's the first full team appearance of the Timekeepers, beings with the ability to manipulate time. And then you see you got a Mortis there. Um, they're battling a Mortis. So interesting little key there. This next one is 63, which is the first appearance and origin of Living Lightning. I've never heard of that character. Not familiar with them. This next one is not a key, well, but it is a little newsstand, and it's got a little interesting Captain America cover there. um, this next one is 76, which is not a key, but it's got a noose on the cover. Interesting there. This next one is 79, also not a key. We haven't had floating heads in a while. This one is, oh, I spoke too soon. This one is 83. It's not a key. It's got one floating head. I don't know if I consider that a floating heads cover. Floating heads covers is like when there's a few of them, I feel like. But I don't know. Would you consider that a floating heads cover? It's a cool cover, I feel like. Um, this next one is 84, which is the origin of Julia Carpenter's Spider Woman, how she became Spider Woman. And it's got Spider Man on the cover there as well. This next one is 88, which is not a key, but you get a little team up with U.S. Agent and Wolverine there, and also some yeah on the cover. And then this last one is 89, which is just a cool cover with Ultron and a nice little newsstand there. That's a really dope cover. I love that cover. And that's what we're going to end on. And that's going to do it for today's haul. A nice little haul for $1 a book that if that couple hadn't have been down there on the floor, I would not have seen these books at all. Would have completely missed some pretty awesome X-Men and Avengers books, as well as those books at the beginning as well. I would not have been down there on the floor looking through those boxes, so shout out to them. But let me know down in the comments below if you found anything recently that you almost missed out on. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more comic book and pop culture talk. Shoot me a follow on Whatnot. Use my link down in the description to save $10 off your first purchase if it's your first time signing up. And I will see y'all another day.